You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Right, Chris.
There I go. As if by magic. It's magic, you know. Good evening, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, goodbye. Hello. I don't know what I'm drinking, but it's bloody good. Welcome along. It's a dual promotion tonight. We've got LTID TV, Leicester Till I Die TV. Good evening. And we've also got Ant's Leicester fan channel as well. And we'll be bringing Ant in a second. Thank you very much for joining us, whichever channel you're on. If you're new to either channel, remember to subscribe, and if you subscribe to one of the two channels, snip over to the other one and subscribe as well. We like to support each other here at the Leicester channels. And if you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much for lending me your ears. We'll just say a few quick hellos. Yvonne, he's just listing there some of his favourite people he'd like to see as a manager. Jamie's in. Good evening, Jamie. How are you? Ronald is in. Ronald, a very good evening to you, sir. Greg from Ant's channel, like he says there, don't forget to like if you're watching. It proper helps it doing. Craig is on. He's saying hello to all LCFC fans. Rico is in as well. Kyle Knott is in. Hello to you all. And Wayne says, hey up, Chris. My new fave TV show is The Great Potter Throwdown. Oh dear, that was bad. Thomas and Andreas are in as well. And so is Sinji. Good evening, Sinji. How are you? Look, like I say, two channels. Well, if it's two channels, we're going to need two presenters. So let me click the magic button and bring him in. Ant, good evening, sir. How are you?
Evening, mate. I'm all good. It feels one of those that we're still waiting, aren't we? We'll get there eventually.
It's like, I don't want to say the 1970s British Rail commercials because they had Jimmy Savile on them, but you know, I feel like we're getting there, but God knows when. I mean, I look. It was a week, well, Monday when he finally accepted his 30 pieces of silver and left us, Enzo. And I'm thinking, well, look, we've got a week now until Friday, tomorrow, which is when the transfer starts. We don't want to be selling players or even trying to sign players until we know who the new manager is going to be. We've already, obviously, Jamie has signed his new contract. I don't think whichever manager would get in would moan about that. Vestergaard, new manager might not want him, so it's. I thought when those two signed that it actually meant that we were close to signing somebody.
Something that there's two sort of theories that I've heard on this, but maybe that those contracts were all agreed, signed when Enzo Maresca was still in charge, and they've only been announced now he's left. Or also that the club even if they don't know who the new manager is, say it just because it looks like at this stage it's between Carlos Corberán and Graham Potter. Like there could be another name that comes into the mix, but it could be that the two sort of leading candidates have both said, yeah, keep both of them. So it's one of those. It's all conspiracy theories, isn't it? At this stage, like if buts and maybes.
Yes. I mean, Dawn from your channel, thrown another name into the pot here. I think she wants Chris Moyles from Radio X. Now, I must admit, I didn't know Dawn. It was that much. I know he's a Leeds fan, but come on now. You know, don't big him up too much. I know what you meant, Dawn. I know what you meant. I wanted Moyes as well, but it doesn't look like it's going to be it. Just out of interest, I actually messaged Rob Tanner earlier, and because yesterday it was looking, wasn't it, like well, there was Rob Tanner, Fabrizio, John Percy, and there was another one as well, wasn't there?
Was it Rob Dorset?
Yes, Sky, yeah, Rob Dorset. We're all saying we're in talks with Potter. Now, when you get something like that, and I know you did a show last night, when you got something like that, when there's 4, what you would say, reliable sources.
Yeah.
Because they are, you know, and I get links to my group all the time from sportsworld.com and you know, all these, and I just delete them, to be honest with you. But those sources, you'd pretty much think, well, something's going to happen, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like when all 4 are singing off the same hymn sheet as well. It's like all 4 are saying the same thing. It's like it's very rare that any of them get much wrong with Leicester, but it would be very rare for them all to be reporting the same thing and it not being right. Like there's too much smoke without there being a fire.
Yes. And I think as well, if you're looking at, and no disrespect, but Leicestershire Live reported it, you'd be thinking, well, it's a copy and paste job. But those 4 don't, as far as I know, have ever, you know, really copy and paste. They've all got good contacts and pretty much, like you say, all 4 saying the same thing. There has to be a little bit of a fire at the end of the tunnel, don't they?
Yeah, it's one of those as well. And I know some people criticise them for it, but they're all, I would say, sort of maybe tapping journalists is the wrong word, but journalists that don't speculate and don't sort of put ifs and buts out there. When they say stuff, there is truth to it. And it's like, that's probably why they, in terms of what they report for Leicester, they probably report less because they're not just going to put something out there for the sake of the story.
Indeed. And it's almost like they trust them, don't they? Because they know if they say off the record, it stays off the record, you know.
Yeah.
Let me just read you this. So I messaged Rob earlier, and thankfully he got back to me. But hi, Rob, Willie, ? Not Willie. I wasn't being rude. Will he? You know, I'm not.
Let's get this right, Chris. You've slid into Rob's DMs and just asked Willie.
Well, at least it wasn't a dick pic. That went well. It started doesn't mean to go on. Hi, Rob. Will.
Pause.
Bracket B. Will he? Now he's come back with Potter ? Now he's now said, personally, I don't think so, but they are trying to persuade him. He is he is the one top wants. Corberán they also like, but he requires a compensation fee. Cooper they have met and spoken to. He has a chance. They've spoken to many others too. Basically, he's not really sort of said an awful lot there, but he's given me permission to say that. But he's now kind of maybe just sort of backing away a little bit.
Yeah, it's... as I say, I've said the whole way through this process, Carlos Corberán would be my first pick. But Graham Potter, Carlos Corberán, either of the two of those, I'm absolutely buzzing with.
Yeah. Greg's laughing at my dick pic. You know, I sent it to you. Don't you take sides. Come on. We're all one here. We're all one. you guys
it's normally you that sets the bar really low from the start. This week it's been me.
It has, isn't it? I realized when I'd said it, but I was trying to carry on. But,
I'm not letting something like that slide.
You weren't letting that one blow, were you? You really weren't. Static is in. Hi, Static. How you doing? Scott's in. Hi, Scott. How are you? Benjamin, he's enjoying his Willie, apparently. Potter first choice, Coburn second, and Cooper third. And Scott very kindly says, everyone make sure you are smashing the like button and subscribe to both channels. Indeed, Scott. Thank you very much. I mean, I wouldn't be, even if it was Cooper, I wouldn't be against, I wouldn't want to give him a 5-6 year contract. But if it's for a couple of seasons to just keep us up, maybe, which he can do, I wouldn't be against it. And we were saying before, weren't we? All these sort of like, if you say no to Cooper, I get it if he's not the one you want, but not just because he was at Forest for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, as I say, I'm not convinced he's the right man to come in. I'm really not. And I think the basis alone that he's kept a team up shouldn't be enough for him to warrant getting a job, because Steve Bruce has kept teams up. Alan Partridge kept teams up.
Now there's a name. You heard it here first, folks. Antoine Steve Bruce.
To be fair, Steve Bruce was on the national radio, wasn't he, the other day?
Yes, he was.
Trying to get himself a job. Can't blame him. But
no.
I do think that just to put yourself for wanting a manager just because they've kept a team up before, I don't know. I feel like you need a bit more than that about you when you look at some of the awful managers that have kept teams up before, and like, I don't know, you look, it's as well as he did at Forest, you look at before that, pretty underwhelming everywhere he's been.
But you only kind of get remembered for your last job, don't you? I mean, we forget that, what Brendan did good for us. We just remember how shit he was at the end.
Yeah, but I suppose you could throw that at Graham Potter. He had an absolute nightmare. 9 months at Chelsea.
No, that's a good point. And we're still waiting for Big Sam to make an entrance, aren't we?
Pay him in pints of gravy. I'm sure there's a loophole in FFP for that somewhere.
must be. Can we pay him in pies? Oh, that was a goalkeeper once, wasn't it? Greg makes a very good asks a very good question here. Do you think the financial side, as in wages, will affect getting someone like Potter? For me, and then I'll come to you, Ant. For me, it's kind of swings and roundabouts, because we don't have to pay compensation for Potter, but he's going to be on a big wage because of what he was on at Chelsea, and obviously they're still paying him until he gets another job, probably as part of his deal, I think. But Enzo wouldn't have been on a pittance, would he?
It's exactly what you said, mate. I think the one thing I'll say is we can't just be cheap, go for a manager just because they're cheap. It's like, if you go for a cheap manager, you're going to get poor results. Plain and simple. If they look at Steve Cooper and do think he's the right man, then go for him. But don't go for him just because he's a cheap manager. No,
not at all. Because let's be honest with you, it's like anything else. You buy cheap and then, you end up having to buy again. We don't want to go down. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's got to be survival. 17th, anything over that is a bonus. If we go down, the EFL are going to absolutely be waiting for us. But I mean, is it just me, or is anybody else just clicking Sky Sports transfer page over and over again at the moment?
I never normally, on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, I never normally have Rob Tanner, Rob Dorset, John Percy, all of their notifications turned on. I've got all of them on at the moment, just waiting for something.
I've got all of the pages saved as well, so I can just click on it straight away. How sad are we? I'm just going to say well done to Hamza Chowdhury. He's been named in the British South Asians in Football Team of the Season. I didn't even know there was one, but there we go. Well done, Hamza. Stu, Hi, Chris Antonall. Classic Leicester, always procrastinating. Transfer window opens tonight. Well, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? It opens. We need a new gaffer and fast. Let's get it all started. It is because, I mean, like I say, I was on Talk Sport the other day and they were saying we can't really do much in the transfer market until we know what manager's going to come in as to who they're going to want, what style of player they're going to want. But is it better than not rushing it and they're actually taking a little bit of time?
Yeah, 100%. I think if you're having a different conversation, if we're halfway through a season, we're like, we need a man in quickly because we're staring down the barrel of relegation, like when Brendan Rodgers went. There had to be someone to come in right there and then there. There wasn't. But this time we've got a little bit of time, but we've got a little bit of time. We haven't got all the time in the world. We've got, I'd say we've got about a week, maybe 2 weeks maximum. So it does need to be a quick process, but we can use that time.
Yeah. And of course, we've got the Euros. So that kind of, if you've got a Euros or a World Cup, it does kind of slow things down because the big boys are obviously looking to see, who's sort of breaking through or getting the golden boots or whatever. So I think that works in our favour a little bit.
Yeah. I also think as well, what works in our favour and in a strange way is the fact of by the end of this, hope and touch wood, this is the case. By the end of sort of the Euros in this time, we will know in terms of where we stand with the points deduction, etc. Because there's a lot of reports that could be coming out quite soon.
It is. And I've got a question here. Greg again. I wonder with the window opening tonight. Oh, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? When it opens?
It's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. If we will get that Abdul announcement tomorrow, I'm surprised that hasn't been officially announced. I can't remember what website it was. It might even have been Sky. When they showed the ins and outs.
Mm-hmm.
And it did say it did have Abdul as an in, because I thought that would be announced once we left the EFL and became a member of the Premier League. Then obviously the EFL transfer embargo ended, and we announced Jamie and we announced Yannick. And I thought Abdul would have been done then.
Yeah, because the sporting manager confirmed it was done a long time ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
But it might be something to, and this is something I've seen again, could be complete rubbish, but apparently we could be waiting till the new kit, so like his signing and his reveal can be done in the new kit. But again, that's guesswork that someone's obviously ran with on Twitter because it sounds like a believable story.
Are you surprised there's no shirts yet?
Yes, but at the same time, no, because I know, and this again has come from likes of Rob Tanner, that the club are looking for shirt sponsors. So might be like, whilst it's like, I love to see what the next season's shirt is. So it's more important to get a deal over the line for a proper shirt sponsor.
Yes, yeah. Be interesting. Let's have a look at our release list first of all. Kelechi Iheanacho. Palace look to be his destination, if the rumours are to be believed. They're going to get a bargain, aren't they?
Good luck to him. It's like when he's on it, he was fantastic. When he was off it, he looked like he'd never seen a football before in his life. But it's one of those. I'll always be grateful for him because without Iheanacho, there's no FA Cup.
Yeah.
But when you just felt we could have got even more out of him because when he was good, he was really good.
He was, and I think he was just unlucky that Jamie Vardy went on as long as he did. And we've been quite lucky with Jamie Vardy with the injuries, haven't we? But he's never let us down. He's never moaned. He's just got on with his job. Like you say, the FA Cup, Community Shield. There's a lot of things you got. And he was a lovely guy when you saw him on his interviews. And like you say, I wish him all the best. Dennis Pratt, in a way, I'm kind of glad he's going. And I like Dennis Pratt. And, he did come back after his loan spell and say he wanted to sort of have another go. And Brendan welcomed him back, then never picked him. But he was a bit of a sick note, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's one of those. He should have gone a long time ago. He didn't want to be here for a couple of seasons now. And I said this a lot on my own channel, but it feels like we've cut off our nose to spite our face in terms of haggling over a couple of million with Torino or Sampdoria or whoever it might be, whilst paying his wages for an extra 2 years and now him walking away with no transfer fee.
That is our speciality, though, isn't it? We're very good at doing that. Who else did we pay 30 million for? We paid 30 million for. Perez, he was 15, wasn't he?
No, Perez was 30. There's a whole list, isn't there? There's the Perez, Siunchu, Tielemans.
Oh, yeah, no. Ranieri signed him. Slimani, that's it. Yes, yeah. That was. I mean, when you come to think the money we've lost, if we were a business, we'd have gone out of business, wouldn't we?
Yeah, the thing is that, and you look through that list, there's some good players in that list as well that are walking out the door for nothing. But there's some other ones as well. You think I can see why you've walked out of the door for nothing, because no club is going to go in for you. But some of them, like Siunchu, some people rated him for like absolute fantastic. Some people bog standard defender. There was value there. Tielemans, likewise. Perez, likewise. And it's just like, you can't just keep seeing these assets walk out the door for nothing.
You can't keep doing it at all. And then obviously Mark Albrighton, we knew he was going, and we all wish him the best. Probably the best free signing I think any club has ever made, and Villa must have been kicking themselves. But let's talk Daka. I mean, is there a manager, whoever comes in, whether it's Potter or Corberon, does he have a future with us? Can he turn his form around?
My thing is, you look at a lot of players that drop down to the Championship, they come back and after they've absolutely smashed it in the Championship, a much better player. You look at Solanke, dropped down to the Championship with Bournemouth, and is like a complete different player than he was before he had that spell in the Championship. Mitrovic is another one. I think if Daka was ever going to kick on, it was going to be last year, and it just didn't happen for him. And I honestly feel like he's no better player now than he was when he first signed for us.
Yes, yeah. But look, look at Vestergaard. We never thought he'd turn out to be like he was. Was that a surprise that I think again, he's got his strengths, we know that, but he's also got his weaknesses. Enzo's style played on those strengths. But like you say, that was probably offered to him when Enzo was still here. And probably when Enzo left, he just thought, I'm signing this. I'm not going to miss out.
My thing is, he deserved a new contract, because when Conor Cody came in this year, and I remember doing a show with you before the season started, we both said Conor Cody will probably come in and probably be captain. And as soon as he's fit and available, Vestergaard will be put on the bench. Vestergaard made himself undroppable for large parts of that season. The only thing that I'm a bit confused by is a 3-year deal.
Yes, yeah. I'm a Vestergaard fan. The thing with me with Vestergaard is I don't think he deserved the stick that he was getting. I don't think he played enough games to get the stick that he was deserving. You couldn't judge him on the number again. I think Brendan buying him, a player that did not fit into his type of system at all, something Rob Tanner said to Brendan and Brendan argued with, and then never picked him, wasn't his fault. He obviously, when you play him a certain way, and that's why I like him. But I just don't know whether he's good enough for the Prem. I was talking to a Southampton fan last night, and he said fair play to him. He'd been impressed with him, the season, because he was glad when he left. But he again wasn't sure whether he was going to be good enough for the Premier League again.
It's one of those. It's like Was it the system that made him look fantastic, or was it the drop down in level, or was it him doing very well? And I think all three of those can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
But the thing that I do say about Vestergaard, and I'm sort of, as much as I didn't particularly rate him, and I'm still unsure about him at Premier League level, I feel a lot of the stick he got was frustration of circumstances. It's like the fact he was on 75 grand a week, the fact that sort of the form at the time, and it's like, you're not going to blame him. It's not his fault that the club offered him 75 grand a week. He's not going to turn it down. So it's like, I feel like he got the frustration. He got sort of the stick because of the circumstances that he was put into. And it's like, well, as much as wasn't fantastic for us in the Premier League, you're telling me now you wouldn't go from a job where you paid obviously well at Southampton, but to then double that at another club.
You wouldn't. You absolutely wouldn't at all. And I even accepted the fact that when he was offered a move to Germany that he didn't take it because his wife was just about to give birth. I completely see that side. So no, I don't.
But the thing is, even if like people saying, "Oh, it lacked ambition, he didn't want to play," it's not his fault. The club offered him a 3-year contract when he signed. He's got every right to see it out, regardless of what you think of it or not. That is on the club for giving him this contract. Same as Danny Ward at the moment. Like, Danny Ward is never going to get a better contract than what he's on at Leicester, which is why I'll be amazed if he goes this summer. And that's the failings of the board of why we're in the financial situation we are.
Well, he was offered a 5-year contract just before they sacked the guy that offered him the 5-year contract. So, yeah, exactly. It doesn't look well for the club, does it? And then just looking at the youngsters that were have been released. The one that surprised me, and again they said this on Leicestershire Live, and I can never pronounce this. Masawanshi, is it?
I know who you mean, and I'm as bad with the names as you are.
Masawanshi. We know who I mean anyway, but I mean he broke through under Rodgers, didn't he?
He did. Well, I wouldn't say broke through. No. He played occasionally in pre-season, but again, it's one of those. It is what academy football is. Not like some players will break through here, some won't. Good luck to all of them. And it's like it. I hope they all go and find clubs. Is all I'll say, because it's like our academy's been fantastic over the recent years in terms of what is produced for the first team. But unfortunately, the harsh reality of football is not everyone is going to break through.
No. Oh, exactly. What positions do you think we need to be looking at?
I don't know, and I'm gonna take a page out of our friend Jack's book here. Going to climb firmly on the fence.
He said that. He actually quoted you last night as accusing him of that.
He did. I absolutely love Jack, but
decision making is not his strength, is it? Let's put it that way.
I don't know though, because it depends who our manager is. Because
this is it, isn't it?
We could make all the signings in the world, and it's like, well, if a manager doesn't play with that style of player or that sort of with that manager's with those players' strengths, then you're putting money down the drain.
Yes. I got to say, I hope Christensen gets another chance. I really liked him, and I understand he did not want to play in the new role that Enzo wanted him to play in. But if we do keep him, he's going to be a bit pissed off because he's just going to lose Champions League football, isn't he?
Yeah, I think this is Dennis Pratt Part 2, and it's like, have we learned anything? It's like, don't spend ages haggling over a couple of million. Either use him or sell him.
Yes, and I know that, but the thing with that is that they had agreed the buy-on fee, hadn't they? If they turned his loan into a permanent, and now they're trying. It's like us trying to get a couple of million knocked off Fatawu. Yeah,
but like it's as predictable as the morning coming tomorrow that the Italian clubs are going to be tight and not keep to their word of the obligation or option to buy.
Now, this is going to be interesting. But I do hope that he does get a second chance. And I wouldn't mind Samari. See, I don't think he was given a fair shout, but I know he's not everybody's favourite choice.
Yeah, again, there's moments where you look at him and you think, "What a player! Like, there's so much talent there." So I would like to see him in a team where it's not losing loss after loss after loss every week, where there's a bit of confidence in the team, because he seemed like one where there was confidence in the team. You saw a much better player.
Yes. Now then, I'm going to go through here there's some general. These are the. He's gone. Are you still? Oh, he's there.
Yes, he's back.
Yeah. We've got some. There's a lot of free agents available, and that's where we might have to do the shopping. I mean, somebody's just mentioned then Alvis and Braybrook. That they are going to be possibilities, and you know, I think if they do break through again, that they are good positives. But I just wanted to go through some. Can you believe that these guys are still available players here?
Okay.
And I know we're all right for a goalkeeper, because I don't think that Ramsden is going to go to Chelsea now. But David De Gea is available on a free.
Oh, what's going on with my camera? Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on here, Chris. Bear with me. But
you're flashing at me, and you accused me earlier.
With David De Gea, it says a lot about what his demands must be for a club, though. The fact he's left Man United and no one's gone near him.
Yes. It does make you wonder. And I'll tell you what, now this one, I think we should get onto his agent now and just sign him. Mario Balotelli.
Oh, God. Well, it would be box office, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine? Anybody in the chat want Mario Balotelli at the club? He's in Turkey at the moment, but they've just finished their Super League, so he could be over there. I think he'd get us a few. He'd bring the papers in, wouldn't he? He'd bring the papers in.
Yeah, but it's not the worry of the papers that he brings in; it's everything else.
Exactly. Football Tactics has just said hell no. I guess that is in response to Mario Balotelli. Mario Balotelli, Daka, Daddy Chips, I suppose.
The thing is, if Balotelli gets it right, he's fantastic. But it feels like that you can say that for a player that's like early 20s. It's like if they get their antics right off the pitch, then they're fantastic. He must be about 35 now.
Let's have a look if it says. Must be getting on a bit. No, it doesn't actually say. For once, a report that doesn't say his age. So, but yeah, he's going to be getting on. But somebody just said then, why always me? Exactly. This makes me laugh. There's a page here. Every Premier club's free agents they wish to sign, and we're not even on the list. We're not. But have you heard of any free agents? Just while I Google it, that you could be interested in.
Callum O'Hare.
You think he could do a job for us?
I think he could do a lot worse than Callum O'Hare.
Mm.
It's like he will be wanting to make that step up to the Premier League now, which obviously he won't be doing at Coventry. Says with a smile on his face. Yeah, I think he could do a job, and I think midfield is an area that we do need to strengthen in. But apart from that, I'm struggling really.
I'm just saying. Oh, here we go. Okay, I've got a list up now. He would be, to be totally honest with you. I mean, when he was the one that caused us all the trouble, wasn't he? When we played at Coventry, and everybody was screaming, "Then sign him up." And let's be honest with you. It's not exactly. He could stay at home, couldn't he, and just travel to Leicester for training and matches. But here we go.
I think James said he lives in Hinckley. I don't know how true that is as well. Which very convenient if he does.
Ronald actually says. Oh no, he didn't. Oh no, Paul. Sorry, said. How old is he? It would be interesting. Yeah, I think Balotelli would be interesting, but whether it would be good or not, who knows? Eric Dyer is available on a free.
People will turn their nose up at him like they did with Harry Winks, but I feel like for a solid, sturdy sort of 1-2 years, you could do a lot worse. But he's also hasn't he been offered a new contract by Bayern Munich as well? So
has it? I don't know. It's just coming up on here because I think he was on loan, wasn't he? There.
Yeah, and his contract with Spurs expired.
Yes. Yeah. So. Right, so they've got him listed here as Tottenham. He's only 30. I thought he was older than that. Right, let's have a look. While we're on Tottenham, I think midfield. I don't think we're desperate for midfielders, are we? Really?
I disagree. I think you've got Dewsbury Hall. You've got Ndidi's a question mark whether he's.
That is the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And then you've got Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi, and then I'm struggling beyond that.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, Samare as well.
Winks.
Oh, how have I forgotten Harry Winks? He's been fantastic this season.
I was clicking over in my head then, thinking he has said Winks, hasn't he? I can't,
But even with the three Dewsbury Hall, Winks, and Ndidi, I think you need more than that.
Yeah, but what about the youngsters coming through?
Fantastic. Like they deserve some minutes, but what you don't want to have is a player like Will Alves who's 17. And hopefully this doesn't happen. But say if Dewsbury Hall picks up a long-term injury, then you're throwing a 17-year-old in week after week after week in the Premier League.
Yeah. It is, like you say, this is really up in the air until we know who is coming in. Strikers, look, we've got 3 now. Do we need an extra one? I just don't know whether Daka's going to cut it or not. And we've got 3 years left, I think it is, on his contract.
I think we need another striker.
Yeah.
No, I like Tom Cannon, but at the same time, he's not even proven at championship level, really, because we didn't see enough of him.
Yeah.
So he's far from proven at Premier League level. I think there's a real bit of talent there, but there's a huge, huge risk of going into a season with Vardy at 37 and Tom Cannon as your 2 strikers.
Yes, yeah. What about Yates from Forest, said Neil?
Yeah, let's leave him at Forest.
Fair enough, that's fine. Again, I'm terrible with pronunciations, even the word itself. Divock Origi from Liverpool. Oh, he's at Fulham, actually, sorry.
He's been about here, there, and everywhere, and no one.
Yeah, he was. I seem to remember him from Liverpool, but apparently he's out of contract now.
Yeah, because he's been Liverpool, Forest as well, hasn't he? Not for me.
Again, defenders, I think we're kind of okay for, depending, because we've got Ricky P, we've got Hamza Chowdhury. That was the other midfielder you missed.
Oh yeah, I've sort of considered him almost a defender this year because he has played right back, hasn't he?
Yes, yeah. It's a bit of a. I suppose he can play both. One of them better than the other. Chris Wood is available from Forest. No, I think I'm going to answer that for you. Yeah, welcome back. He can score off his face though. Now an interesting one here because again everybody was screaming from at one point. Ismail Assar at Watford.
Is he?
And according to sportrack.com/EPL/free-agents, he is available. And what's that? Previous his salary here. I've just lost it now. Where was he? Oh God, I've lost it. But he is. Oh, there we go. 3.2 million is his wages.
My thing is, I couldn't tell you how he's done in the last couple of years because he's been in France, hasn't he? But
yeah. Thing is, again, though, when we're saying free agents, you can therefore spend more on wages, can't you? Because you're not having a.
But then it's one of those. There's, as you say, free agents, but there's no such thing as a free signing because you're spending more on wages. But then if it does go badly, then you're stuck with them. Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Dennis Pratt's available on a free, apparently.
Oh, Belgian international, isn't he? I reckon he could do a really good job for us,
I say, given the chance, I think he could be. West Ham have got 3 here. Ogbonna, Antonio, and Lanzini are available.
I'll tell you what, if we'd gone down the David Moyes route, we could have done a lot worse than Mikel Antonio. But it depends, because if we're going to go down sort of a Graham Potter route of playing possession-based football and whilst Graham Potter can be tactically adaptable, one of those is not lump it up to the big man, which is what Antonio's fantastic at. This is why it's so important. Get the manager in, isn't it? And then
Sorry, my mouth has just hit the table. Ryan Bertrand is available.
Yeah, there's a shock.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Worryingly, yes, I can imagine, which is sort of says more about us than him, to be honest.
Anthony Knockaert is available.
How old is Knockaert now?
How old is he? 32 and a half, apparently.
I don't know why. It feels like he should be older than that.
Yes, it does. Yes, definitely. Jakob Larsson from Burnley, a striker.
Yeah. Don't know about him.
Here's an interesting one. I don't think they would sell him to us, but Shea Adams at Southampton, 27, just coming up to 28 years old. He's only on 1.5 at Southampton.
I do like Shea Adams, but it's like again, David Moyes he would have absolutely loved Shea Adams, that big man that can hold the ball up. I think Carlos Corberán would do quite well with him as well. Not sure if Potter would. No,
I'm just looking here. I think those are sort of the. It still goes bad. Bloody hell! It's like a whole division of players that are available on a free. Luke Thomas, do we keep him or do we let him go? If we go, but look, let's say we get a manager in who wants left backs. Hopefully, would keep Christensen, but how happy would be at staying, I don't know. Luke Thomas, has he still got a future with us?
No, he's just not good. Like it's going to sound really harsh, but he's just not good enough. He is just like he can have one good game like that. That game against Liverpool, but it's like the fact that was 2021 when we played Liverpool at the King Power, where he pocketed Salah. We are now June 24th. 23rd. I'm completely mixing up my words. We are in June 2024.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
Third time lucky and all, but he hasn't done anything of note since that Liverpool game.
No.
And that was 2-3 years ago.
United must have absolutely killed his confidence.
Yeah, but it might have killed his confidence, but you talk to Sheffield United fans, he was the worst of a bad bunch.
They did let him go, didn't they?
Yeah, so it's like, as much as it might have killed his confidence, but it's like, I don't think his loan at Middlesbrough did much more for it.
No. Robert Cardoza here says you can grab Harry Maguire for cheap. You know what, mate? If he was cheap, I would grab him 100%.
Oh, I love Harry Maguire. He's become a bit of a joke at United at times, but he was excellent for us.
Oh God, yes. I would have him back definitely in a heartbeat. Now, this was an interesting one. I think he means Akgun, and obviously he's gone back to Turkey. Was it Fenerbahce he was from? I think
Galatasaray. I'm convinced you're just doing that to upset the Turkish fans, if I'm honest, Chris.
Is it? Oh, okay. I mean, he's gone, but do you think he was ever in any chance of him staying?
There was a tiny bit of like a technical footballer there, but I said all season I think he's one that's got top end championship ability. I'm not convinced he's a Premier League level player.
No. No, I agree. Get rid of Thomas. Yeah, I'd give VK another chance. Yeah, 100%. I would. Well, I just said that, didn't I? Let me just end because we can go through this list. Goes on and on and on. It's going to be interesting as it always is with Leicester. Do you think, or should we be reading anything into the fact that Vardy and Vestergaard have both signed? Indeed, he hasn't, and we know there's a contract on the table.
Thing is Ndidi hasn't, but he's still in negotiations with the club. If it was done with Ndidi, he would have been announced to have been released, like Pratt, like Iheanacho, etc. So it's just one that, regardless if he's staying or going, make your decision quickly so the club can move forward with other stuff, and so he can as well. Whether that's him settling elsewhere or whether that's him getting ready for a pre-season at Leicester.
I'm just going to have one last flick of the button. Abraham set for Premier League return, it says. Apparently West Ham, Tottenham and Villa are all interested in him. Let's just have a look. It says there's a new post. Any news before we move on? Oh my God, how far down had I gone? And absolutely nothing. So we start transfer deadline day without a manager, only at Leicester. You know it's going to be. He's going to be holding out to try and get Potter. Potter will turn us down, and then we'll end up going for somebody else. If we do go for Corberan, and the way I look at it is, if they want 7-8 million, pay it, and let's get him in.
Yeah, it's like, if my thing is with Potter, it's clear that he's the priority now. But like, that's by everything that we're reading. But Carlos Corberan's a fantastic manager. Like, you look at what he's done at West Brom, taking a team from 24th with nothing to spend up into the playoffs. Like, it's fantastic. But yeah, if there's a £4 million or is it 6 million, whatever it is, compensation fee, pay it. Like, if the club really believe he is a man, then pay it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got 10 for Enzo. Yes, that would help PSR, but we're going to get a points deduction anyway. So let's just go for it. If you believe that, you say if it's the best, and that's the one that we're the best we can get, let's go. The only thing I'd say, last thing with Potter, is he obviously hasn't said no. Otherwise, that would have come out. We would have moved on.
Yeah, and my one worry with Potter is the fact I feel like he could very easily come in and use us as a stepping stone. But there's that risk with everyone.
There is.
And it's something that I said in my live show yesterday on my own channel, that as much as there's that risk, there's also like that he could, because he failed at Chelsea, have that chip on his shoulder to get back to a big six club and prove himself. But he could have also seen sort of the toxic, negative side of the big six clubs and maybe doesn't want to go back to it.
Yeah.
And sort of was happier at Brighton, where he was loved and respected.
Yeah. Interesting that he apparently didn't want to go back to Brighton, though.
Didn't he? I read it as Brighton didn't want to go back for him. Is what
it depends which story I guess you read. Yeah, either could be true, you know. Read the Sun, read the Mirror, you know. Don't read the Star, because if you read the Star, Jesus Christ is coming back to managers. But look, hopefully tomorrow could be the day, with it being transfer deadline day.
Deadline day? We haven't had the window opening yet, mate.
What? Look, you don't get your dates right. I don't get my days right.
We're as bad as each other.
We are. Between us, just edit this out, guys, if you're watching it. Take the best bits of what I say and the best bits of what Hans says, and you've pretty much got a show there. And, mate, your link is below, Hans Leicester fan channel. Thank you so much for coming on. Fingers crossed that they make the right decision, whoever it is. And, look, this is Leicester. Not everybody's going to be happy, are they? No,
we could like appoint the second coming of Sir Alex Ferguson. People would still find something to moan at with it.
Yeah, exactly. Going to try this with you because I do it with all my guests when it's 2 on. We'll see if it works. Thanks everybody for listening. Either channel you're on, whichever one you're watching, smash the likes. go and sub to the other people's channels. If you sub to one, go and sub to the other. And if you've been listening on, say, on your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much. But all I will say is, it's good night from me.
Good night from me.
No.
Oh, I pointed the wrong way.
You're not a Two Ronnies fan, are you?
Nope.
Oh, you see, I thought when I'm doing this, I'm thinking, I think he might be a bit too young. They always used to end their shows with, it's good night from me, and it's good night from him.
I'll know for next time.
You will indeed.
I'll say that. I'll look at you as blankly next time. Like, what is he? What is he on about? So I'm sure you told me this at the end of last show as well.
I didn't actually, but I could see that look come over your face, and at that point, I realised that it was a mistake.
We've made play again. This is, you said about cropping down the show to get rid of the mistakes.
Yes.
Some people are going to have a fantastic 5-minute live stream to watch.
Yeah, exactly. All right, mate. All the best. Thanks very much, and we'll speak soon.
Right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.